Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome back to another episode of News Dose, where I give you all of the latest gaming news. And Xbox absolutely unleashed today. Of course, they officially announced the Xbox Series S yesterday, but today they announced a ton more, and they are firing on all cylinders. We now have the official Xbox Series X price, a huge expansion for Xbox Game Pass, Xbox Series S performance, and much more. It really is insane what Xbox is doing here, and it's very debatable that the Xbox Series is the best deal in gaming this holiday, so don't go anywhere and we will go over all that. Also, about that Nintendo Switch Pro, it's been rumored for quite a while, and it looks like we do have more proof that a new, more powerful Switch will be coming soon, so stick around for that as well. Of course though, as always, let's go over some of the quick news, starting off with the PlayStation 5. So today is the 25th anniversary for the PlayStation in the United States, and there were a lot of rumors going around that PlayStation was going to announce the price and release date for the PlayStation 5 in celebration. This did not happen, unfortunately, but there was some PlayStation news as we got some new box arts for the PlayStation 5, which seemingly was posted a little early on Amazon Australia. This includes Sackboy, Gran Turismo 7, Returnal, Destruction All-Stars, and Demon's Souls. Do keep in mind that some of these box arts are subject to change, but the reason I'm talking about this is because this could signify that the release of these games are not too far out. Of course, Sony hasn't really confirmed any release date just yet, but I do think that all of these games could show up very early on in the PlayStation 5 lifecycle. The question now is, how early can we see these games? Demon's Souls, which I'm very excited for, has widely been rumored to be a PlayStation 5 launch window game. And then Returnal, just yesterday we found out, is likely to be a 2021 release. Whether that's early 2021 or late remains to be seen, and I've speculated on multiple occasions that Gran Turismo 7 may possibly be a launch game as well. This actually seems like a very solid lineup of games if all of these do release early on. Gran Turismo is a huge franchise, of course, and the Souls games have grown a lot since the original release of Demon's Souls for the PlayStation 3, so those could be big system sellers for the PlayStation 5. Hopefully we do get some official release dates soon though, and with Xbox announcing so much stuff in the last 48 hours, I imagine we're not going to have to wait for too much longer. Moving on, the Epic Games vs. Apple saga continues on with yet another twist. So as we all know, Apple banned Fortnite from iOS devices after Epic Games broke their terms of service agreement by bypassing the 30% cut in in-game sales. And then Epic Games tried to sue Apple, and then after that, Apple tried to remove Unreal Engine from iOS devices unsuccessfully, and yeah, this has just been a whole big mess that could have probably just been avoided. Well, Apple is still very frustrated over this whole situation and are now countersuing Epic Games for breaching their contract. And the truth is, Apple probably has a case here. I've been saying this, but I don't really know why Epic Games decided to target Apple specifically. I know Tim Sweeney is trying to appear like the good guy here, and even though I completely disagree with a lot of Apple's policies, the industry standard is that the platform holder will get a 30% cut of game sales. This includes Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, and even Steam. Epic Games is really the only one that doesn't do this, and kudos to them for doing that. That's fantastic for developers, but that does beg the question, why target Apple specifically, and not the other platforms? That's the question that I've always had when it came to this case, and Tim Sweeney claims it's not about money, but at the end of the day, he broke his contract with Apple. That's where I think Epic Games made a big mistake, and Apple claims this whole thing is just about money. The thing is that we have two big companies battling it out right now, and consumers are the ones that are unfortunately caught in the crossfire here, and that's just not fair for the fans. This probably could have just all been avoided, but here we are, and it doesn't look like things are going to change anytime soon. I know some fans were hoping they would just come to some kind of agreement behind the scenes, but if anything, it seems like their relationship is getting even worse. That's the thing though, Apple is a huge company, and they don't really need Fortnite to make money. And I do think that Tim Sweeney may have thought it was more important to Apple than what it actually was. In other news, we got some new details on the upcoming Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Cold War will receive a beta in October, though the release schedule is kind of all over the place here. If you pre-order the game on PlayStation 4, you will get early access on October 8th, and then it opens up to all PlayStation 4 players on October 10th and ends on the 12th. For Xbox and PC players, pre-order early access starts on October 15th and then opens up for everybody on the 17th, and finally ends on the 19th. An odd schedule to say the very least, but if you can't wait to play Cold War, you might want to do those pre-orders to get access to the beta. And if you're going to be an early adopter for one of the next generation consoles, you're probably going to be really excited about this next bit of information. So Treyarch did confirm that Cold War will run at 4K resolution on next generation consoles. It has ray tracing, 3D audio, and it also utilizes haptic feedback on the PlayStation 5, which will be really nice. Here's the big one though. Cold War will support up to 120 frames per second on the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and the Series S. And actually, let's start talking about Xbox because they announced a ton of news today, including, yes, we are seeing a big AAA 120 frames per second game right out of the gate for the Series S, which already goes to show you this is going to be a very viable console. Cold War isn't the only 120 frames per second game though, because the Gears 5 multiplayer was also shown today running on the Series S at a locked 120 frames per second. Yeah, this $300 next generation console is very capable of running these games at 120 frames per second, which is absolutely insane, especially when you realize it can also do ray tracing and upscale games to 4K resolution. It's not native 4K, but again, this is all very impressive. The Series S processing power is just a big jump over the current generation consoles, which is one big reason it can achieve this type of performance. It's also RDNA 2, has GDDR6 RAM, alongside a customized NVMe solid-state drive. Yeah, this thing is starting to sound like a very capable machine and a great way for fans to jump into next generation. I imagine this thing is going to fly off shelves this holiday. You're probably wondering, how did they get this thing to $300 though? Well, according to insider Jeff Grubb, they're selling it for a major loss per unit. Now, the Series X is also being sold for a loss as well, which we'll talk a little bit more about in just a moment. This would mean nothing without the games though, so let's talk about the launch of the Xbox Series X and S consoles on November 10th. Assassin's Creed Valhalla will officially launch side by side with the Xbox Series, and they also confirmed it will run 4K 60 frames per second. Earlier this year, some fans were just a little bit concerned it would not be 60 frames, but there it is. Also, Yakuza Like a Dragon will be another launch title for the Xbox Series on November 10th, and that's a next-generation timed exclusive, so that's a big one. And I have to say, that's the one fans really need to be paying attention to. Yakuza is an amazing story-driven franchise, so don't sleep on that game. Today, Xbox also announced that Gears Tactics will be an Xbox Series launch title, and I know fans have been curious about that game, so there it is. I can already say that's a great game since I have played it, so the Xbox Series lineup is really starting to come together. I am kind of hoping Flight Simulator eventually gets announced for a holiday release, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. The icing on the cake though is Xbox Game Pass, and I have some huge Xbox Game Pass news today. Now, you probably know I am a big fan of Xbox Game Pass, because I truly do believe it's the best deal in video games, and I don't even think it's close. Well, it just got even better because starting sometime this holiday, EA Play will be coming to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, which includes PC. Yeah, I'll say that again. EA Play, formerly known as EA Access, is coming to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. That means any of the games EA puts into the EA Play Vault will also be coming to Xbox Game Pass. I mean, we are talking about games like Dragon Age, Mass Effect, Titanfall, Madden, FIFA, Sims, Need for Speed, Star Wars, and the list goes on and on. I don't know how Microsoft managed to put this together, but this is absolutely massive and makes an already great service even better. Now, if you do already own EA Play and Xbox Game Pass, the good news here is that your EA Play subscription will actually go into Xbox Game Pass and extend that service. Once again, this is just a crazy good deal, and I have to say, Xbox Series arguably has the best launch lineup ever. Not only are games like Yakuza 7, Assassin's Creed, Gears Tactics, and I assume Crash 4 going to be there at launch day one, but you also have over 100 games in Xbox Game Pass with EA Play and over 1,000 backwards compatible games. This is what Xbox has been preparing for all these years. And with that said, they have now confirmed that the Xbox Series X will come in at $500, which is a fantastic price. Based off the beastly specs it has, I would not have been shocked to see it come in north of $500. So this is a great price for the most powerful console on the market. Microsoft did a great job here with the pricing, but what makes these prices even more insane is Xbox All Access. So Xbox All Access is basically Microsoft's financing plan, where instead of buying the Xbox Series upfront, you can instead choose to pay $25 a month for 24 months to own an Xbox. And oh yeah, it includes Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. Talk about a crazy good deal, especially for fans looking to jump into next generation but doesn't want to pay hundreds of dollars day one. Now, Xbox All Access isn't available worldwide, but will be available in 12 different countries, which includes Australia, Canada, Denmark, Finland, France, New Zealand, Norway, Poland, South Korea, Sweden, the UK, and the United States. So if you live in any of those countries, you might want to think about taking advantage of this. When you start to put all this together though, the great price points for the Series X and S, Xbox Game Pass with EA Play, and Xbox All Access, it's very debatable that the Xbox Series is the best deal this holiday. We kind of need to see what Sony does here though, but either way, Xbox is in a very good position right now heading into next generation. And let me know, are you going to pick up an Xbox Series console this holiday? And will you use Xbox All Access? Let me know in the comments below. Moving on to our last topic though, the Nintendo Switch Pro appears to actually be happening. So check this out. Bloomberg posted a report on how Nintendo is looking to boost production of the Switch by 20% because they have been unable to satisfy consumer demand for the Switch. Yeah, that's definitely true, as it's pretty much been sold out everywhere for months. But the bigger news here is that Bloomberg also claims that Nintendo is preparing for an upgraded Nintendo Switch in 2021. And in fact, this report says that several outside developers speaking anonymously said that Nintendo is telling developers to make their games 4K ready. Now, why would they do that unless they are coming out with a 4K Nintendo Switch? Now, it is possible that it's not a native 4K device, and they could do 4K upscaling similar to the Xbox Series S, but even then, it looks like we're going to get a significantly more powerful Nintendo Switch next year. This should help Nintendo not fall too far behind the Xbox Series and the PlayStation 5 in terms of graphics. I know Nintendo isn't necessarily known to make photorealistic games or anything like that, but what this could do is get more third parties to release their games on the Switch. The Witcher 3, as an example, was extremely successful on the Switch according to CD Projekt Red, so these big games can sell very well on the Switch. That's not all though, because we're also seeing Nintendo games kind of struggle in handheld mode. Xenoblade, for instance, does not run at 720p in handheld mode, so maybe they could improve that. So it's going to be very interesting to see what exactly they do with this new Nintendo Switch, but it definitely looks like this is going to happen. Let me know though, what would you like to see from a new upgraded Switch device? Let me know in the comments below. Anyways though, that's it for this episode, but if you liked the video, don't forget the bell notification and subscribe button for more content just like this. Also, if you'd like to support the channel through Patreon, thank you for making this content possible. Peace out.